This automation takes a lead list from an email campaign, filters through all the leads and returns the ones that did not respond to your email campaign, and sends them a hyper-personalized call with all their public info to try and convert them. This works so well because of the way getting leads works, right? So you kind of want to remember that you kind of want to touch base with your leads as much as possible, and this just does it perfectly, and it's also fully automated. So essentially we have a lead list in a Google Drive, right? But before we do anything with that, we're going to go ahead and find all the busy times in our calendar, because we're going to use that as dynamic data, right? So every time we make a call, our call agent has the access to all the busy times in our calendar, so we can go ahead and dynamically book meetings that fit for us as well, right? So we're going to go ahead and get all the busy times, right? And then we're going to iterate each of them, turn them into text, right? So it's like a whole list, and then we're going to go ahead and turn it into a JSON and then send it as dynamic data, right? So then we're going to go ahead and take the CSV we got from the Google Drive, which is just our like lead list. We're going to go ahead and pass out all of this information, right? So you might be wondering why there's so many, set variables. This is not very efficient, but anyone that does automations know how helpful it is to test when you have like big long formulas, right? So let me show you some of these. So we get their phone number, right? And as you know from lead lists, there's sometimes like 3. So let's just go ahead and this formula, go ahead and look for anyone that exists. So say if there's only a secondary phone number, it's going to pass that one, tertiary phone number. So we're just going to take whatever phone number there is, right? And if it's empty, it'll show empty, right? The second logic is sometimes these guys put weird phone numbers with weird extensions. This one just trims it and makes sure it's just the phone number that's accepted. I think E165 format or something like that, Bland accepts, which is what we're going to be using to send the calls. We're going to get the phone number, company, location, industry. Now, here's what's make it personalized, right? So there's 2 ways of sending calls with Bland, right? You can make a whole pathway. This is what we do for clients, right? But sometimes you want to do really quick calls like this one, a follow-up specialist, right? You're going to want to do a prompt only. You can send the 1 prompt calls. And this is really good, right? So each of these prompts are going to be attached to each call, and it's going to be each one's going to be very different, right? So we're going to have one based off everything over the first name, the company, the email. We're going to have company information. It's going to be all about that. So for our case, I just made a prompt so we could sell AI agents, but for other company I did it for was property. It was for foreclosure properties. And it's really, really good because you think you've expanded the whole lead list, but you're going to set them all through the whole system again. You can get a couple more leads. It's really helpful. And then we send that prompt, all of this into each into a huge JSON object, which you send as a batch calls to Bland, right? And if you don't know Bland, the Bland module is really bad. Just do a direct API call with this, all right? So back on Bland, you can see something like for this example, we talk about trying to sell AI agents to this sort of yacht company, and it's sort of really impressed. See, I'm impressed by company name, the little bit of a company information, all of that, and then she's sort of about how can I get in touch, how can I use your services.